It's Thursday, March 12th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, an investigation is underway after a driver died following a collision between a school bus and car in North Sydney. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the price of fuel continues to rise. We will chat about what these implications have for our region coming up in our first hour.
Plus, the Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show. The always popular showcase kicks off tomorrow, and we'll get a preview to help you plan your visit. All that and so much more just ahead on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning. Please join us on this Thursday, March 12th. So excited that you're able to join us. So I wanted to just mention, I saw a fun little Instagram post that said from tomorrow, Friday, will be the last Friday of winter. So that's exciting.
Yes, it is. Oh, my goodness. Yes, next Friday is the first official day of spring.
Yay!
Look at that.
Hello.
We had a wonderful taste of it earlier this week.
We absolutely did, which is nice to see. Also, too, I know I can't speak for every school board in Nova Scotia, but at least for the Halifax area, tomorrow's a PD day for students. So really, today is their last day of school before March break.
March break Eve.
For the week, March break Eve.
All right. Now, we had that taste of spring earlier, but today we get a little taste of something else today.
Well, it's kind of spring.
Okay.
Think about it, because it's just rain, it's wet.
That's true.
Yeah, which is our typical spring.
April showers early.
Exactly, but others are getting a bit of an icy mix, so Crystal is correct. We are going to see that icy mixture. Yeah.
Look at the snow still in Newfoundland.
It's still winter, people. It is technically still winter.
Yes, and we could be seeing some heavier snowfall, especially into parts of Newfoundland. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Take your time out on your morning commute as well. We are seeing temperatures going to be warming up yet again today, feeling kind of like spring into the afternoon. But we do have that messy weather tracking across the region. A bit cooler starting off the day, -2 degrees in Fredericton with 1 degree in Charlottetown, -1 in Sydney, 8 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, -19 in Labrador City, and a -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill, especially factor in for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador this morning, with parts of Labrador still seeing a risk of frostbite early on. Many watches and warnings currently in effect. We have a winter storm warning for northern New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick seeing a freezing rain warning in effect. Special weather statement for parts of Newfoundland, and also going to see a winter storm warning, a rainfall warning for Newfoundland, and then we do have a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning in effect for parts of Labrador. Also seeing an orange level rainfall warning, so heavier totals there, especially into a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning, orange level for Labrador. Here's a look at that messy mixture we're seeing across the region. Still seeing an icy mix early in the morning for many areas within the Maritime region, transitioning over to just rain, at times heavy into the afternoon with a risk of thunderstorms as well. Newfoundland and Labrador are going to see the heavier of that storm today, looking at that heavier snowfall and a mixture of freezing rain, ice pellets, and more. So we'll have a full breakdown on that coming up. And then in terms of the wind for the Maritime region, continues to pick up today. 56 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 33 in Lunenburg, 35 in Yarmouth. Wind gusts getting up to 81 kilometers per hour currently in Grand Etang, 43 in Halifax, 44 in Lunenburg, 52 in Yarmouth. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was found. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police are warning people to stay off the ice. A man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus in Cape Breton Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Cape Breton Regional Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but later died. A neighbor tells CTV News there have been too many accidents at that intersection. She believes it should be a four-way stop.
A man lost his life. That's horrible. There were kids on a school bus. That so much more could have happened. An accident, if there's any way we can avoid any accident from happening, if it's as simple as 2 extra stop signs, I think that's a wonderful step in the right direction.
29 students en route to Memorial High in Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the Cape Breton Victoria Regional Centre for Education. Some were treated for injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. A main route in the town of Sussex, New Brunswick, has been abruptly blocked off. Also known as the Trout Creek No. 1 Bridge, the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure says it closed the bridge to traffic due to its declining condition. The province says the closure will require another assessment of the bridge's timeline, but didn't say when it might reopen. The bridge was in the process of being evaluated for future rehabilitation or replacement options. A detour plan with signage is also still being prepared. A Fredericton company has been named as the party responsible for that chemical spill that shut down a portion of the Vanier Highway last week.
Once a responsible party has been identified, the onus is on them, both in the cleanup and the remediation and the impacts of the incident itself.
That includes the cleanup costs, which officials say is too early to put a number on. XL Plating and Machining has been named by the New Brunswick government as being at fault. CTV News reached out to the company. They declined to offer comment. 1 week ago, the province was first notified of the spill that saw around 900 liters of chemical, including chromium, dumped on parts of the Trans-Canada Highway, among other Fredericton roadways. The reason for the spill hasn't been released at this point, and no timeline was given on when the investigation is expected to be complete. There's been a major leadership change at Health's PEI. The province says Lori Kloss-Chinsky is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization, effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who has worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. There have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority, and she felt there was no choice but to go. RCMP are looking for a suspect after a smash and grab incident in Cole Harbour the other day. Just before 9:30 Monday night, police say a man entered a store in the 900 block of Cole Harbour Road, smashed a display case with a screwdriver, and grabbed some trading cards before leaving. He was seen getting into the back seat of an older model Honda Civic, which took off toward Dartmouth. The suspect is described by police by being 18 to 20 years old with a slim build. Anyone with information on his identity is asked to contact RCMP. Finally, officials in a Newfoundland town long tormented by the stench of an abandoned fish sauce factory say the site could be cleaned up this summer. The town council in St. Mary's says in a social media post that the cleanup job is ready to go to tender. The post says the waste will be disposed of at a facility in the community of Sunnyside. It says Municipal Affairs Minister Chris Tibbs has promised that the decades-old sauce will be removed and cleaned up by the summer.
Gosh, that's great news for that community.
Very, very much. They've been complaining about that smell for quite a while.
Yeah.
So to hear that it could be cleaned up by the summer, good.
All right. Well, this is just a fun story, I guess. But if you have $7,000 burning a hole in your pocket, you could buy this stroller. It's a Lamborghini British stroller company, Silver Cross, have collaborated to create this stroller. It's turning heads at the baby show in London this week, especially with car lovers. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want my opinion for free, whip-de-doo. It just looks like a stroller.
Exactly.
I'm not going to pay $7,000. You can get a very good stroller for, you know, a quarter of that price.
Like, how does it fold? Let's see how it folds up. Isn't that the true test?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Is it lightweight?
I guess the suspension system is top notch, but I guess maybe you need that on the pothole-covered streets and sidewalks of our region. So maybe I spoke too soon.
Maybe it comes in a double stroller, Latavia. Like,
Absolutely
Exactly.
not. No, I don't need
$7
that.
grand. I'll get a used version on Facebook Marketplace if I'm in the market for a stroller.
I got a fantastic wagon on Facebook Marketplace.
There you go.
Nice.
It is smooth.
We love a wagon.
yeah.
A wagon. So practical.
things that change as your life
Exactly.
changes.
Yeah.
Okay, still ahead, we'll have international news headlines on this Thursday morning, and Latavia has more details on this messy weather system that is slowly making its way through the region. Good morning to McAdam, New Brunswick. So much snow melt there over the past few days. The forecast is just a few minutes away.
Good morning, Halifax. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look right now, and it currently is quite warm, 8 degrees starting off your day, but it is a wet start to the day. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. And we are seeing an icy mixture for much of Atlantic Canada early this morning. As of right now, -2 degrees in Fredericton, 1 heading outdoors at Charlottetown, 0 in Sydney. Much colder in Labrador City at -19 degrees, -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have a winter storm warning. It will be ending a little bit later this afternoon for northern New Brunswick. Still expected around 5 to 10 millimeters of freezing rain. And a freezing rain warning also in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island will be ending a little bit later this morning. A special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland until this evening. We also have a winter storm warning and a rainfall warning in effect that will be ending Friday. Also into Labrador, winter storm watch and a winter storm warning. And then we have orange level alerts, a rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland with a winter storm warning and a snowfall warning, seeing the heavier totals over there. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. This system still bringing an icy mixture across parts of Atlantic Canada. For New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, still seeing a risk of freezing rain early in the morning. Snow mixed with ice pellets for northern New Brunswick. Other than that, though, we do have rain for much of the Maritime region. Newfoundland and Labrador going to see that wintry mix as well. But for Labrador into the afternoon, we start to see that snow at times heavy move in. For Newfoundland, looking at that wintry mix. So we're seeing ice pellets, snow at times heavy, and rain at times heavy as well. Into the evening, much of the same is expected, but we start to see some clearing for parts of New Brunswick. Continuing into later tonight, early Friday morning, still dealing with this icy mixture, and then we'll start to clear out for Friday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we are going to see that accumulate yet again, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Newfoundland and Labrador seeing the heavier of that total activity, but we're looking at still around only 5 to 15 centimeters of snow. In terms of the rainfall accumulation, that will start to pick up as well. For New Brunswick, looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters, 10 to 20 across Prince Edward Island. The heaviest being for Nova Scotia is in Truro at around 30 to 40 millimeters. Newfoundland going to see some heavier totals as well, 40 to 50 millimeters expected for Port aux Basques. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off the day with an icy mix, we'll transition over to snow and or rain into the evening. Daytime highs on the warmer side today, ranging from 2 to 9 degrees, 50 kilometers per hour for our wind gusts. Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees. Freezing rain starts off the day, transitioning over to rain for the remainder of the day. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 8 to 13 degrees. Showers and or flurries expected throughout your day. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers start off the day, transitions over to flurries and or showers into the evening. Highs will range from 9 to 13 degrees and wind gusts of 50. Labrador City looking at a high of -16 degrees today, looking at snow throughout your day. 6 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at that icy mixture. Transitions over to freezing rain into the afternoon and evening. For our forecast on Friday, sunshine will return for much of the Maritime region. Temperatures cooling back down yet again. We are going to see a bit of snowfall still left behind for Cape Breton Island, Newfoundland, Labrador. Going to see that heavier system still situated over there. And then into Friday evening, much of the same. We start to see the system clear out, but we have another system right behind it, bringing snow and or rain back around to the Maritime region. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Wow, not much of a break between systems. Thank you, Latavia. The war in the Middle East is continuing to escalate, with hundreds killed in Iran and many more throughout the region. The conflict is also adding fears of another growing crisis, with oil and shipping in the crucial Strait of Hormuz taking a hit. CTV's Joy Malbin has the latest.
New video from Central Command shows the U.S. blowing up Iranian vessels suspected of laying mines near the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran has effectively closed the shipping lane, attacking more than a dozen oil tankers trying to pass, choking off the world's lifeline for oil, and sending energy prices soaring, triggering the largest release of emergency reserves thanks to oil-rich nations.
Our countries will be making 400 million barrels of oil available. I repeat, 400 million barrels of oil.
Canada helping to offset global shortages too.
Canada will do its part to contribute to the world's supply. That will bring prices down for Canadians. That will keep prices affordable for Canadians.
With the U.S. and Israel targeting Iranian military sites and Iran retaliating with a new wave of missile and drone attacks, President Donald Trump telling reporters,
right now, they've lost their Navy, they've lost their Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all, they have no radar, their leaders are gone, and we could do a lot worse.
The president promising to hit harder, but also saying the war is pretty much over.
Which is it? Is the war ending soon, or are we on the brink of the worst fighting yet?
Mixed messaging from Washington isn't going over well. Key Trump supporters like Joe Rogan publicly criticizing the war as a betrayal.
He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
With the new supreme leader, Iran insists it alone will decide the war's end, as the FBI now warns sympathizers or proxies could try to launch attacks on U.S. soil. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
And the war in Iran has made air travel costlier for Canadians. Air Canada says it has adjusted fares to reflect the surging global jet fuel prices since U.S. and Israel attacked Iran. Air Transat announced it has applied a $25 surcharge on flights departing from Canada to Europe. Several international airlines have also hiked fares. A quick break. When we return, we'll have your top business headlines plus your must-see moment from TSN. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
At 6:23, and time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello, Matt Scooby inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. For it, we go to Utah. Blazers and Jazz. Ace Bailey going to lose his dribble, so he thinks outside the box, fakes out Donovan Clingan badly, goes off the glass, and then slams it home. How about the high IQ play from Bailey? Finishes it off in style, completely fools the Blazers center. That is very nice. It's your must-see moment from Thursday. Well, tonight on TSN, NBA All-Star Weekend begins with the Celebrity Game, and Rising Stars game coverage starts 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now we'll take a look at your business headlines from our colleagues over at BNN. I played rugby in my last couple years of.
The International Energy Agency says it will release 400 million barrels of oil, which will be the largest release it's ever done. The oil will come from the reserves of countries that are part of the agency, including Canada. More than 1.2 billion barrels are held as emergency stock. Oil, of course, in short supply with tankers backed up at the Strait of Hormuz because of the Middle East conflict. Typically, about 15 million barrels would pass through the strait every day. The conflict is also pushing fertilizer prices up. About a third of the global fertilizer trade passes through the strait. A vessel that loads up in the Middle East takes about a month to get to the U.S. before it gets sent to farmers. That means both supply and pricing could have a negative effect on spring planting in North America. Shares in Campbell's are down today after the company cut its profit outlook in its latest earnings report. A January snowstorm disrupted supply chains, and it's been dealing with tariffs on aluminum and steel, as well as the high cost of beef. Campbell's is best known for its canned soups. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar down a fraction to 73.61. West Texas Intermediate up over $3 to 87.25. Western Canadian Select is down over $8 to 68.31. And the TSX lost 150 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, a high of 10 degrees today for New Brunswick. An icy mixture starts off the day, transitions over to showers and or flurries. 1 degree on Friday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, but also seeing isolated flurries continue for parts of the province. On Saturday, 2 degrees with snow and or rain. For Nova Scotia today, looking at showers and or flurries, transitioning over to rain into the evening with a high of 11. 3 degrees on Friday, scattered flurries. And then on Saturday, 4 degrees with snow and or rain. For Prince Edward Island, 10 degrees today, looking at rain or freezing rain. On Friday, -1, scattered flurries. And then on Saturday, 1 degree with snow and or rain continuing.
Ooh, Shawshank Redemption. Woo-hoo-hoo. Today we're talking about the Move Morning Chat, and we want to know about iconic movies you haven't seen, and we want to know what you've been missing. Well, that conversation coming up in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning, Atlantic Canada. It's Thursday, March 12th, just before Friday the 13th at 6:30. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you, especially on a day where we're seeing some messy weather. Guess what's coming in right now? School closures.
Oh, yeah? Well, weather happens, so school closures
Weather happens. So most schools in New Brunswick closed today. PEI schools are on a 1-hour delay. And in Nova Scotia, schools north of Smoky are also on a 1-hour delay. Okay. I'll have more details coming up in the news. We'll get an article up on our website too. But yeah, it's good to know.
Another day when weather is news, news is weather.
Exactly, yeah. Definitely seeing that icy mixture remain for parts of the region. We're seeing snowfall totals, rainfall totals. Something to keep in mind when you're heading out on your commute. Take your time out on roads. Here's a live look at Yarmouth, a foggy start to the day. As of right now, it's currently 8 degrees, so quite warm starting off your day, though. For parts of the region, at least, the temperatures will be warming up, so it's going to be another warm day for many areas across the Maritimes. As of right now, though, it is -2 degrees in Fredericton, 1 degree in Charlottetown, 0 in Sydney, -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill for Newfoundland and Labrador. We are going to see cooler temperatures early this morning. It is feeling quite cold. Something to keep in mind, there is a risk of frostbite as well over in Labrador. We have a winter storm warning in effect for northern New Brunswick. Freezing rain warning for parts of Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick. And then into the special weather statement currently in effect for parts of Newfoundland. Into Newfoundland as well, we have a winter storm warning, a rainfall warning. Also going to see a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning in effect for parts of Labrador. And then an orange level rainfall warning for parts of Newfoundland and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at that messy system tracking across the region. Still going to see that icy mixture early this morning. Snow mixed with ice pellets, a risk of freezing rain, rain with a risk of thunderstorms as well. Over to the current wind across all 3 maritime provinces will begin to pick up this morning as of right now, 43 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 33 into Yarmouth, 31 in Lunenburg and Halifax. Wind gusts getting up to 69 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 52 in Yarmouth, 43 in Lunenburg with 48 in Halifax. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we start with the weather. Most schools in New Brunswick are closed today due to road conditions. Here's a look at the list. In New Brunswick, here are the closures. All schools for the Anglophone West School District, all schools for the North School District are closed. East School District classes are canceled for the day. Most schools are closed for the Francophone South School District, and for the Francophone Northeast School District, all schools are closed for the day. This is due to weather and poor road conditions. And also Francophone Northwest School District, all offices and schools are closed there as well. In Prince Edward Island, the public schools branch and the French language school board, they're on a 1-hour delay. And in Nova Scotia, schools north of Smoky are on a 1-hour delay. Of course, this due to road and weather conditions. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was found. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police are warning people to stay off the ice. A man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus in Cape Breton Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Cape Breton Regional Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but died later. A neighbor tells CTV News there have been too many accidents at that intersection. She believes it should be a 4-way stop.
A man lost his life. That's horrible. There were kids on a school bus. That so much more could have happened. An accident, if there's any way we can avoid any accident from happening, if it's as simple as 2 extra stop signs, I think that's a wonderful step in the right direction.
29 students en route to Memorial High and Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the school board. Some were treated for injuries, and the cause of the crash is still under investigation. There's been a major leadership change at Health PEI. The province says Lori Kloschinski is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization, effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who has worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. There have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority, and she felt there was no choice but to go. There is some good news and bad news from the Canadian rental market. The good news is average rents are dropping across the country, down to a 33-month low. The bad news is it's not happening nearly as quickly around here.
Halifax is a little bit of an outlier. So on average, Halifax rents are about $200 more than the national average. 1-bedroom apartment is going to cost you about $2,000 a month, which is 1.5% less than it was this time last year. 2-bedroom apartment, you're looking at about that $2,500 a month.
With these developments, it is good for the economy and for those who can afford, these rent rates, but not for those who are the vulnerable and the marginalized and who are on low income families and seniors, and that's what's needed.
Rentals.ca says the rental market caught fire during COVID, and things are only now starting to settle out. Despite objections, the city can't afford it. Halifax Council has voted to continue a plan to rebuild the historic Forum. Although a beloved building, the cost of rebuilding the 99-year-old structure has now ballooned to $126 million. And the mayor says that's too much.
What does need to be on the Forum site is housing, including affordable housing. We do need to have recreation and community spaces like are there now.
Council has put delays and delays and delays and delays on the project. That's why it's $126 million. It's $126 million because of inflation.
The motion to defer failed because the vote was an 8-8 tie. Mayor Andy Fillmore says he will try again. Finally, let's take a look at an incredible display lighting up the sky over Hawaii. Look at that. The Kilauea volcano erupted for the 43rd time since 2024. At one point, a fountain of lava shot nearly 400 meters into the sky. Debris the size of footballs also rained down on the area during the 9-hour-long flare-up.
This is the big one.
Wow.
That's really something.
Stunning to see.
It is stunning to see.
From afar.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to get that close, but I would love to go to Hawaii.
I've never been. You've been.
Hawaii is magical.
Have you been there?
Yes. Me and my best friend, when I was in college, we took 2 weeks during Thanksgiving, and we did all the excursions. We went all out on this trip.
Wow.
It was magical. I would love to go back, but
I would love to go too. I've been to Hong Kong. We had a great experience there too, and similar to what you had. And I'm telling you, if you want to enter the contest, you should, because Hong Kong is a great place to go. We have this Magic of Hong Kong contest. You can enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to more than 20 amazing attractions. So basically, you're taking care of. To enter, just go to ctvatlantic.ca, click on the contest bar at the top, or use that QR code to get right there. Good luck to you. This contest isn't going to last much longer, so get in there while you can.
What a prize. Okay, still ahead, we have your entertainment headlines from Hollywood, but coming up next, speaking of films, we're going to be talking about them in the Move Morning Chat. Oh, yeah.
Even this.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 6:42 on your Thursday morning, -2 degrees over in Fredericton. You can see fresh snowfall over there. We do still have an icy mixture headed your way, so keep that in mind when you are heading out. Take your time out on roads. You can see there it is quite wet. Starting off this morning, 1 degree in Charlottetown, 9 degrees currently in Halifax, 0 in Sydney, -16 degrees in Cartwright, -12 in St. Anthony. A winter storm warning remains for northern New Brunswick. It will end this afternoon. We also have a freezing rain warning for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, ending a little bit later this morning. A special weather statement for the east coast of Newfoundland until this evening, as well as a winter storm warning and a rainfall warning. For Labrador, that winter storm warning still remains, and a winter storm watch as well. We do have an orange level rainfall warning. We've seen those totals range from 60 to 90 millimeters until Friday, as well as a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at that current system tracking across Atlantic Canada. Still seeing an icy mixture early this morning. Snow mixed with ice pellets, freezing rain, and also seeing some rain for parts of the Maritime region. For Newfoundland, we are going to see that snow and icy mixture as well. Labrador just starting to see that snow move in across the province. Into the afternoon, much of the same expected. Taking us into this evening, we start to see a bit of clearing for parts of northern New Brunswick. Other than that, the system will still remain, bringing an icy mixture for parts of the Maritime region into Newfoundland and Labrador. So if you're wondering about snowfall totals, we are going to see around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Into parts of Labrador, looking at around 5 to 15 rather of snow accumulation, and 10 to 15 centimeters for Newfoundland. For a rainfall outlook, we are going to see accumulation there as well, looking at around 2 to 20 millimeters across New Brunswick, 10 to 20 for Prince Edward Island, the heaviest being 30 to 40 millimeters for Truro. And for Newfoundland, looking at around 2 to 50 millimeters of precipitation. So for a forecast today for New Brunswick, an icy mixture starts off the day, transitions over to snow and or rain into the evening. Daytime highs ranging from 2 to 9 degrees and wind gusts of 50. Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees today. Freezing rain starts off the day, transitions over to rain for the remainder. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from 8 to 13 degrees. Showers and or flurries expected throughout your day. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers transitions over to flurries and or showers into the evening. Highs will range from 9 to 13 degrees. Labrador City today looking at a high of -16 degrees, snow throughout your day. 6 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at an icy mixture transitioning over to freezing rain for the remainder of your day. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to the Move Morning Chat. It's time now for the Move Morning Chat. This morning, we're talking about what is an iconic movie that you have never seen before. Aaron, Peter, which movie is it for you?
Well, where do we even start? You know what? We started talking about this because the Oscars are coming up on Sunday.
Right.
And oftentimes you hear about the Oscars nominations and you're going, I don't know that movie. I've never seen that movie. So it got us talking about the iconic ones we've never seen. Now, I know this is an unpopular opinion. I have no interest in these movies. I've never seen The Lord of the Rings. Listen, I don't know. I have no interest. And it's funny because
Amanda has passed away.
I know.
It's okay, newsroom. Calm down. Aaron hasn't seen Lord of the Rings. It was just an immediate reaction. Sorry. I need to let everyone know I am okay. Sorry. Explain, Aaron.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I don't have any interest. And it's funny. I used to be in a choir and we traveled to London, England. And part of our big choir tour was to go to the Lord of the Rings musical in London, this big musical. And everyone was freaking out. And I was sitting in the audience like, Jan, what is going on? I don't care. I never want to see these. I'm sorry. I know it's iconic. Never seen them. Never will. Sorry.
Now I've seen those movies, and I hope this makes you feel a little better, Amanda, picking you up off the floor. I've seen them multiple times. I saw the premiere of each of the films in the theater when they opened, all that sort of thing.
Extended DVD editions.
Of course. I have never seen Dreamgirls. No, that's
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Oh! Sorry.
How did that even happen? I have seen Dreamgirls. I have not seen Mean Girls, and I think I never will. And I think it's just.
I said, no kidding, Peter. You've never seen Mean Girls. Why would you be watching Mean Girls?
It's just, I mean, it's not the movie for me. It came out also 22 years ago. I think I know everything about the movie. I've seen scenes from the movie so many times. I don't need to see it. I am not going to see the movie Mean Girls, and I never have.
Well, you know what, Peter? You don't even go here.
Yeah, he doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Well, for me, you guys are going to cringe on this one. I haven't seen The Godfather. I haven't seen Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
I haven't seen like Shawshank Redemption.
So
Green Mile. I haven't seen a lot of movies that are iconic. Kyle looks at me.
Wow.
He's like, excuse me? Yeah, never seen them, never will.
Oh my God. Okay, Green Mile, you will love. Stephen King, incredible.
It's not horror. I don't want to see it.
There's a bit of an element to it. I'll tell you what. Okay, so this is mine, and I think it surprises a lot of people because it's musical-esque, which is up my alley. I've never seen Dirty Dancing.
I can't even. I don't even know how we're friends.
I know. Nobody puts Baby in a Corner. I know the songs that are a part of it. I know there's a dance number where she like jumps into Patrick Swayze's arms, but that's about it. And they have people tell me you need to see it, and I just think like, it's been so long now. I don't think I'm going to.
Wow.
Wow.
We're
all learning a lot about each other.
We are learning a lot about each other this morning. So I'm still getting over The Lord of the Rings. Anyways, we're asking the question to the viewers this morning. What iconic movie have you never seen? And do you have an interest in seeing it? Please send us a text at 10400. We'll share your answers later in the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:52. We're going to head over to Hollywood. Take a look at your entertainment headlines.
The final batch of presenters for Sunday night's Oscars have been announced. Former Oscars host Jimmy Kimmel is on the list, along with nominees Rose Byrne and Delroy Lindo. The Oscars air live on ABC March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and stream live on Hulu. As for next year's awards, the 2027 Golden Globes are set for January 10th, and Nikki Glaser will return to host for a third time. Glaser's latest comedy special, Good Girl, premieres on Hulu on April 24th. Hulu is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News.
I could tell within 2 minutes of meeting you, you're not just some boy band guy. And you are too good for that wedding band.
Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd throw down in the new trailer for the upcoming musical dramedy, Power Ballad. In it, the Jonas brother, playing a boy band star, steals a song from a wedding singer, played by Rudd, and uses it to revive his career. The movie's in theaters June 5th. And happy birthday to Rock and Roll Hall of Famer James Taylor. He's 78 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Nova Scotia's Blair Turnbull is back from the Olympics sporting silver hardware.
The hometown hockey hero says the stage is set for the next generation of girls. CTV's Brianne Foley has a story.
The support from Nova Scotia for women's hockey is evident to homegrown talent Blair Turnbull.
We're really happy with the product that we put on the ice in that final game. I think we put ourselves in a position to win a gold medal and just came up short. So that's hockey and that's life. But I think one of the coolest parts about the Olympics is hearing and feeling all the support from home. You know, I was in Italy, but every day I was feeling the love from my community back home in Nova Scotia.
The continued rise of the sport is a main reason for advocacy from Turnbull.
Knowing how much of an impact that my teammates and I can have on young hockey players, but also on, you know, seniors that never had the chance to play hockey growing up because it was a thing that only boys got to do.
Just amazing seeing people. Like I know for Blair, she came from a really small town here in Nova Scotia, and I sort of come from a small town, so it's just really inspiring to see that even though you don't come from like a huge city, you can still make it to the highest level.
For young players like Fallon McIntosh, the dream is now a reality.
Now we have something to look up to. I mean, the national team is also something to look up to, but now there's a league, so we have more opportunities.
According to Hockey Canada, last year set a record in participation with over 115,000 female players registered, which they hope to see jump to 170,000 by 2030.
Now there's so many different leagues and so many different levels with hundreds and hundreds of girls playing across the province and dreaming of one day playing in the PWHL. I think it's amazing to see how much the sport has changed for the better in our province of Nova Scotia.
It just really helps our community grow too and show other girls that it's possible. It also shines the light here in Nova Scotia for women's hockey.
As for Turnbull, she has one message for the next generation of Nova Scotian players.
Keep dreaming. Obviously, set your sights high and go for it because you're living in a time where the possibilities are really endless.
Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, an icy mixture starts off the day in New Brunswick with a high of 10 degrees. Into the evening, showers and/or flurries expected. On Friday, cooling down to 1 degree, a mix of sun and cloud, but still seeing the return of isolated flurries for parts of the province. And then on Saturday, 2 degrees with snow and/or rain. For Nova Scotia, a high of 11 degrees today, showers and/or flurries. Into the evening, expecting rain. On Friday, 3 degrees with scattered flurries. On Saturday, looking at a high of 4 degrees, snow and/or rain. For Prince Edward Island, 10 degrees today, rain and/or freezing rain across the island. Then on Friday, cooling down to -1, scattered flurries. On Saturday, snow and/or rain with a high of 1 degree. Time now, 6:56.
It's Thursday, March 12th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, an investigation is underway after a driver died following a collision between a school bus and car in North Sydney. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And energy concerns. The war in the Middle East is resulting in surging energy costs. We'll speak with the Atlantica Center for Energy about global energy worries a little later this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7 o'clock, and we have rain outside parts of the region. Even worse for others.
Yeah, much more for others, and that is impacting the news.
It is. We've got school closures across most of New Brunswick. We have delays for the start of the school day in Prince Edward Island and for schools north of Smoky. I'll have more details coming up in the news. Want to quickly bring up the Move Morning Chat. We're talking about iconic films you've never seen. We've received a few texts so far.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Yeah. Donna, clutch your pearls because Jessica from PEI has never seen Top Gun.
I knew it.
Oh.
Doesn't plan on it. And Candace from Cape Breton says Titanic. Yeah.
Wow.
And and she says she actively avoids seeing it, but she loves Lord of the Rings.
I remember the VHS tapes you're at the
double
cliffhanger. You're like, put in the other tape. Keep going.
I just recently watched Titanic. Oh, great thing to watch on a rainy day, actually.
Absolutely. All right, taking a look right now, you can definitely see it is wet outdoors. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. Some areas experiencing rain with the risk of thunderstorms early on. Others seeing an icy mixture across the region. As of right now, -1 in Fredericton, 1 degree in Charlottetown, 9 in Halifax, 0 in Sydney, with -4 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. For the Maritime region, not really seeing the wind chill factor in today, but as of right now, for Newfoundland and Labrador, it is feeling quite cold, and for parts of Labrador, still seeing a risk of frostbite early on. A winter storm warning remains for northern New Brunswick. We do still have a freezing rain warning in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Special weather statement for the east coast of Newfoundland with a winter storm warning and rainfall warning in effect. For Labrador, winter storm watch with a winter storm warning. And then we have an orange level rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland and an orange level winter storm warning and snowfall warning for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at that current messy system tracking across the region. We are still seeing snow mixed with ice pellets, freezing rain, and rain tracking across much of Atlantic Canada. So make sure to take your time out on roads this morning. In terms of the wind, it is going to be a bit breezy today for the Maritime region. As of right now, 43 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang with 35 into Yarmouth, 37 in Halifax, 31 in Lunenburg. Wind gusts of up to 69 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 63 into Yarmouth, 56 in Halifax, 43 in Lunenburg. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. And because of the weather and road conditions, most schools in New Brunswick are closed today. All schools are closed for Anglophone West, North, and East, as well as most schools in Francophone South, and all schools for Francophone Northeast and Francophone Northwest. In Prince Edward Island, classes for the public schools branch and the French language school board, they're on a 1-hour delay. And in Cape Breton, schools north of Smoky will be delayed opening by 1 hour. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was found. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police are warning people to stay off the ice. In Cape Breton, a man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Cape Breton Regional Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but died later. A neighbor tells CTV News there have been too many accidents at that intersection. She believes it should be a 4-way stop.
A man lost his life. That's horrible. There were kids on a school bus. That so much more could have happened. An accident, if there's any way we can avoid any accident from happening, if it's as simple as 2 extra stop signs, I think that's a wonderful step in the right direction.
29 students en route to Memorial High in Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the school board. Some were treated for injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. In New Brunswick, a main route in the town of Sussex has been abruptly blocked off. The Maple Avenue Bridge is closed. Also known as the Trout Creek No. 1 Bridge, the Department of Transportation says it's closed the bridge to traffic due to its declining condition. The province says the closure will require another assessment of the bridge's timeline, but didn't say when that might reopen. The bridge was in the process of being evaluated for future rehabilitation or replacement options. A detour plan with signage is still being prepared. A Fredericton company has been named as the party responsible for that chemical spill that shut down a portion of the Vanier Highway last week.
Once a responsible party has been identified, the onus is on them, both in the cleanup and the remediation and the impacts of the incident itself.
That includes the cleanup costs, which officials say is too early to put a number on. XL Plating and Machining has been named by the New Brunswick government as being at fault. CTV News reached out to the company, which declined to comment. 1 week ago, the province was first notified of the spill that saw around 900 liters of chemical, including chromium, dumped on parts of the Trans-Canada Highway, among other Fredericton roadways. The reason for the spill hasn't been released at this point, and no timeline has been given on when the investigation is expected to be complete. There's been a major leadership change at Health PEI. The province says Lore Kloschinski is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization, effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who's worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. There have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority, and she felt there was no choice but to go. Officials in a Newfoundland town, long tormented by the stench of an abandoned fish sauce factory, says the site could be cleaned up this summer. The town council in St. Mary's says in a social media post that the cleanup job is ready to go to tender. The post says the waste will be disposed of at a facility in the community of Sunnyside. It says Municipal Affairs Minister Chris Tibbs has promised that the decades-old sauce will be removed and cleaned up by the summer. Finally, it's the top 10 list you've been waiting for. The Canadian Kennel Club is out with its top 10 most popular dog breeds for 2025. Topping the list is the Labrador Retriever, an honor the dog has carried for over 30 years. I mean, look how handsome they are. Next is the Golden Retriever. Yes, of course. And the German Shepherd. Now, others on the list include the Australian Shepherd, Havanese, and King Charles Spaniel. Any surprises there?
No.
No.
Maybe the German Shepherd?
Yeah.
I don't see that as a popular breed.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
I think because they're very intelligent. Too.
Yeah, interesting.
Very
beautiful
smart
dogs.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, I am partial to the black lab.
Yeah, indeed you are. Oh, Dewey's a beautiful dog. What a coat.
Yeah, he's
what
sweet.
a shiny coat.
Yeah, he's handsome. He's full of love. Not the sharpest tool in the box.
That's okay.
That's okay. Also,
good at stealing food.
I know you've got a Labradoodle. I'm surprised that's not near the top of the list because that's a really popular.
I have a Labradoodle, mini Labradoodle. Oh. A golden doodle, though.
Okay.
My golden doodle, Molly, she's an angel.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's sweet.
She was wild as a baby, but now she's perfect.
Aww.
She has so much patience, especially with the kids. I feel bad for them. They get pulled on a lot.
Oh my gosh, what a
good family
sweet
dogs.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay, well this is good news. Another sign of spring is right now. Okay, the UK Zoo has captured moments for the 4 young bears coming out of hibernation.
Oh.
There they are. They're not that little.
They
They're
are
just
not
young.
that little.
Mara, Minnie, Naya, and Cinderella are European brown bears.
What?
I know.
Cinderella came out of
Between the ages
nowhere.
of 5 and 7, so they're young. With 5 and 7, they're big. They're fully grown. They've been hibernating for months now, but they're ready to get out and about with spring in the air. Listen to those birds chirping in the background. They're headed over to a pool in their enclosure for a little dip, which is probably nice to do it after a long sleep. And look at them, they're come out. They're actually looking healthy.
Looking great. Big yawn.
It's
Waking
like us
up.
in the morning when we come into work.
Oh, 100%. We roll on the ground.
Yeah.
If we could, I would.
Same.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, still ahead, international news headlines, but first it's a look at the Thursday forecast. Oh, a wet start to the day in downtown Charlottetown, a quiet start too on Queen Street. We've got the forecast up next.
I just realized that there's a difference.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:13. A bit of a foggy, wet start to your day over in Burntcoat Head. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out on roads today. We are seeing a bit of wet conditions, slick conditions as well because of that icy mixture. As of right now, it is -1 in Fredericton, 2 degrees in Charlottetown with 1 in Sydney, 8 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, -19 in Labrador City, and -9 over in Gander. We do still have a winter storm warning in effect for northern New Brunswick. That will end this afternoon. A freezing rain warning also in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Over to Newfoundland, a special weather statement until this evening for the east coast of Newfoundland. And then we have a winter storm warning, a rainfall warning as well. For Labrador, looking at a winter storm watch, that winter storm warning as well, and an orange level rainfall warning for parts of Newfoundland, and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at that messy system moving right across Atlantic Canada. Still seeing a risk of freezing rain early in the morning for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, though, looking at rain for the majority of the maritime region, a risk of freezing rain as well for parts of Newfoundland with snow. And we're going to see also snow moving in for parts of Labrador, spreading across the province. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected. We start to see that icy mixture transition over to periods of rain because of those warmer daytime highs we're seeing across the maritime region. Snow remains in Labrador. Mixed precipitation still remains across much of Newfoundland. Into tonight, much of the same. We start to see a bit of clearing, though, for parts of New Brunswick. That takes us into early Friday morning. Going to still see snow and or rain for much of the Maritimes, and still seeing a messy mix for parts of the region. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we will see around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick, Nova Scotia rather, and then looking at around 5 to 15 centimeters for Labrador and 10 to 15 across Newfoundland. For our rainfall outlook, seeing accumulation there as well. We are going to see around 10 to 20 at its heaviest for parts of New Brunswick, 10 to 20 millimeters across Prince Edward Island, and the heaviest for Nova Scotia being around 30 to 40 millimeters for Truro. For Newfoundland, the heaviest being 40 to 50 millimeters for Port aux Basques. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off with an icy mixture, transitions over to snow and or rain. Daytime highs will range from 2 to 9 degrees today, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees. Freezing rain starts off the day, transitions over to rain into the afternoon and evening. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 9 to 13 degrees. Showers or flurries expected throughout your day today. For the rest of Nova Scotia, pretty warm for your daytime highs, 9 to 13 degrees. We do have showers and a risk of thunderstorms transitioning over to showers and or flurries into the evening. For Labrador City, a high of minus 16 degrees today. Snow throughout your day today. 6 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, seeing an icy mixture starting off your day, transitioning over to freezing rain. Over to our forecast for Friday. Sunshine returns for all 3 maritime provinces, still holding on to a bit of snow for parts of Cape Breton Island. Labrador seeing snowfall. Newfoundland looking at mixed precipitation still remaining. And then into Friday night, we do have another low pressure system making its way over that will carry us into Saturday's forecast, where we do have snow and or rain wrapping back around for the maritime region. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The war in Iran has made air travel costlier for Canadians. Air Canada says it has adjusted fares to reflect the surging global jet fuel prices since U.S. and Israel attacked Iran. Air Transat announced it has applied a $25 surcharge on flights departing from Canada to Europe. Several international airlines have also hiked fares. Prime Minister Mark Carney is heading to Norway for meetings about trade and security. Yesterday, he welcomed new MP Lori Idlout after she crossed the floor from the NDP on Wednesday. She says it was feedback from constituents that led to her decision. CTV's Mike Couture has more.
It was another hero's welcome for the latest opposition MP to join the Liberals. This time, it was a member of the NDP. Lori Idlout says threats to Canada's sovereignty and concerns for her constituents in the north led to this decision.
There are a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so warmly welcomed.
It continued into question period, where she was given a standing ovation. Earlier, the Prime Minister praised Idlout's work as an MP.
We've had conversations about what we can do, both large and small, in Nunavut.
The mood within the NDP today was decidedly more dour. Less than a week ago, Idlout spoke at an event in support of leadership candidate Avi Lewis.
I truly am nervous about my influence.
Surrounded by his caucus of just 6 members now, interim leader Don Davies says any floor crosser should have to run in a by-election. He also criticized Carney for poaching MPs.
Whether or not there's a majority government is fundamentally a decision of the Canadian people at the ballot box. And it should happen that way, not through backroom deals.
A similar sentiment was being shared by Conservatives who have lost their share of floor crossers in recent months.
To see her now go to the Liberals, who she's so readily criticized over the last number of years, to me, it's a little strange, and I've seen comments from people in Nunavut that a lot of comments that aren't happy with their move.
Carney's path to a majority government just got a lot easier. If the Liberals win 2 out of the 3 by-elections next month, they will secure it, nearly a year after forming a minority government.
CTV's Michael Couture reporting in Ottawa. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal will have a conversation with the Atlantica Centre for Energy about global and local energy concerns. That's up next.
Welcome back at 7:22. Now, global and local energy concerns are mounting as the ongoing war in Iran stretches into a 13th day. In the Middle East, there's an escalating showdown over the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil shipping route, and locally this has resulted in a surge in fuel prices. Joining us now is Michelle Robichaud with the Atlantica Centre for Energy, which offers resources to help people better understand the energy sector. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Crystal.
So let's talk about how is this geopolitical conflict affecting our region's energy system, and so quickly?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that situations like what's happening in the Middle East really do highlight why we need to understand how our energy systems work. Events in the Middle East tend to get this kind of attention because that region produces a very large share of the world's oil. So about 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. So when conflicts happen there, global markets absolutely react really quickly. And that shows up here in higher and more volatile gas prices. And so the one thing I would like to remind your listeners today is that it's really important to understand that not all energy works the same way. And a lot of the energy we actually use here in Atlantic Canada doesn't typically come from the Middle East. So just as an example, our electricity generated is largely here at home from sources like hydrogen, nuclear, wind, and other renewables. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about energy versus electricity.
Interesting. Okay, so we're talking about right now fuel related to oil and oil production. So with obviously the price of gasoline has been rising, fluctuating, but mostly rising in our region. What does this kind of does what's going on in the Middle East have any impact on other parts of our I guess Atlantic Canadian lives related to energy?
Yeah, so, you know, some folks, when we talk about energy, they assume that, you know, all energy will be affected in the same way. But in reality, you know, it's mostly just globally traded fuels, which is gasoline, diesel, and oil. So electricity is completely different and most likely are not exposed to those types of global events. And so there is, you know, a bit of a lesson from that is that, you know, there are global conflicts happening, and they need to remind us how important it is to sort of build those secure and reliable energy systems here at home and with our allies who are also impacted by this kind of conflict.
Well, that's what I'll ask you for our last minute, Michelle, is just how can we be better prepared to weather this sort of conflict in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question, Crystal, and it's something I'm sure is on the minds of a lot of your listeners here today. I think the biggest priority is really about strengthening energy security, and that's a really sort of big word, but that basically means we are producing and controlling more of our own energy. And we can do that by investing in reliable electricity systems, maintaining a diverse mix of energy sources. So, you know, we're really fortunate here in Atlantic Canada. We have nuclear, we have hydro, we have excellent renewable sources, we have natural gas, and then improving our connections between the provinces here in Atlantic Canada, especially. The more resilient our energy system is, the better protected Canadians are from those global disruptions.
And then we're seeing images now of wind, which of course is something that we're working on to expanding. Well, Michelle, we really appreciate your thoughts this morning. Thank you so much.
I encourage your listeners to reach out to us. The Atlantica Centre for Energy has a tremendous amount of resources, and we're here as an unbiased source for you in Atlantic Canada.
Wonderful. Well, we have put a link to that website on ours so people can go, because you're right. I checked it out myself. Tons of free resources that people can check out to learn more about how energy works in our region. It's now 7:26. We'll take a break and be back with more of our show right after this.
Just ahead in this half hour, getting your car ready for spring. The folks at CTV Atlantic will join us with tips and advice on getting your vehicle in shape for the warmer weather. Isn't it nice not to talk about winter tires?
This is fall pictures. Sure.
Let's take it.
That's fun.
That conversation coming up this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Come on in halfway through the show already on this Thursday, March 12th. One thing I really do love and appreciate, and I get out walking the dogs, I get a reminder, oh yeah, it's not spring yet.
I know.
So all of the nice weather is still ahead of us. Exactly. We haven't wasted any time yet.
Right.
It's all coming, and that's all going to be so glorious when it gets here.
It's actually so exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Even just seeing the grass again, I know it's all burnt up and dead and stuff, but like, it's so exciting. It gives you hope.
It'll be green in no time.
Exactly.
I saw, I'm sure you've seen this too, little bits of green popping up, like they're probably going to be daffodils.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming, people.
Even that earthy smell is very nice to see or smell.
And keep that in mind as you deal with whatever Mother Nature's throwing at you today.
Yeah, some parts of the region just seeing periods of rain. Others are seeing an icy mixture. Here's a live look at a very busy start to the day over at the Armdale Roundabout. As of right now in Halifax, 8 degrees starting off your day. So we are seeing warmer temperatures move back in across parts of Atlantic Canada today. A bit cooler for other areas, though, early this morning. -1 in Fredericton, 1 degree starting off your day in Charlottetown and Sydney, -19 over in Labrador City, and -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Not seeing the wind chill really factor in early this morning for the Maritime region, but still remains for Newfoundland and Labrador early on. As of right now, there is that risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador as well. So we do still have actually, never mind. That winter storm warning has now ended, but we do still have that freezing rain warning for much of New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. We are seeing a special weather statement for the east coast of Newfoundland until this evening. A winter storm warning and a rainfall warning for parts of Newfoundland, with Labrador seeing a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning. There is an orange level rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland, so the heavier rainfall totals, and as well as an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at that messy mixture still tracking across much of Atlantic Canada today. Still seeing the icy mixture for New Brunswick, parts of Newfoundland, and then into the afternoon starting to see a bit of clearing, but still remaining rain for the majority of the Maritime region, snow for Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the wind across the Maritime region, it will be a bit of a breezy day ahead. 41 kilometers per hour for Grand Etang, with 37 in Halifax, 35 in Yarmouth. Wind gusts of 59 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 56 in Yarmouth, 52 in Halifax. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
And most schools in New Brunswick are closed today due to road and weather conditions. All schools are closed for Anglophone West, North, and East, as well as most schools in Francophone South. All schools for Francophone Northeast and Francophone Northwest. In Prince Edward Island, classes for the public schools branch and the French language school board, they're on a 1-hour delay. And in Cape Breton, schools north of Smoky will be delayed opening by 1 hour. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was found. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police also warning people to stay off the ice. A man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus in Cape Breton Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Cape Breton Regional Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but later died. 29 students en route to Memorial High and Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the school board. Some were treated for injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. There's been a major leadership change at Health PEI. The province says Lori Kloschinski is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who has worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser on the right in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. There have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority, and she felt there was no choice but to go. In Nova Scotia, RCMP are looking for a suspect after a smash and grab incident in Cole Harbour. Just before 9:30 Monday night, police say a man entered a store in the 900 block of Cole Harbour Road, smashed a display case with a screwdriver, and grabbed some trading cards before leaving. He was seen getting into the back seat of an older model Honda Civic, which took off toward Dartmouth. Police described the suspect as being between 18 to 20 years old with a slim build. Anyone with information on his identity is asked to contact RCMP. The iconic Chicken Burger restaurant on the Bedford Highway turned 86 this week and celebrated with some special throwbacks. CTV's Jim Quammen stopped by the birthday bash.
Dirt works plus ketchup. Perfect. We're here celebrating the 86th anniversary of the Chicken Burger. We founded all the way back in 1940, and we celebrate our birthday every year as one of the most fun parts of our year.
That'll be $1 for the first one.
We're actually offering 86-cent hamburgers to anybody who comes through the door today. We're a big family-oriented business with a legacy of community in the area. It is just a wonderful experience for both first-timers and for many of our customers that frequent the business all year long.
We've been coming here about 30 years. Every time we come into town, we stop at Chicken Burger for the chicken burgers.
We have customers come in all the time and talk about their first dates, their first kiss, all of these wonderful family experiences that they've celebrated here at the Chicken Burger. And so we really take pride in making that a core part of who we are as a business, is sharing those memories with people. And it's really all about good, wholesome, family-friendly cuisine and a great diner and drive-in experience.
They kept the old-fashioned stuff, and I like the chairs, and I like that it's 86 cents per cheeseburger.
I like the vibe of it. It's different from any other restaurant I've been to.
We're likely, I can't quote me on this for sure, but we are likely maybe the oldest drive-in in all of Canada. I like to say that we are. No one's ever argued with me on that one, so we're going to say that we are. And it is fun. We open the full sliding doors, and people can drive right up to the front door, order their food, and it really brings you back to kind of another era. And I think that means a lot to people.
The Chicken Burger is iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Such a cool sign.
Yeah.
I love their use of neon.
I know.
It's epic. Yeah.
It really is.
Step back in time and use the jukebox.
Yeah. Speaking of movies let's talk about that. It reminding me of Back to the Future.
Oh my gosh,
I recently rewatched that movie, but tell us about our Move Morning Chat.
Yeah, our Move Morning Chat. We're talking about iconic films that you've never seen, the type of films that make your friends go, what? Are you kidding me? You've never seen that? Yeah. We received another text from a viewer, and I believe he's from Lower Sackville, and he said that he's never seen Star Wars.
Oh.
I have.
You haven't?
Yeah. I only watched it once on VHS, the Mania tapes. Never seen it again.
Yeah, it took me many times to watch it because we kept falling asleep every time I tried to watch it. So interesting. Anyway, we want to hear from you. Yeah, gosh, maybe there's some movies we need to put on our list.
What's one you've never seen, Crystal? An iconic film.
Iconic. Flashdance. Footloose.
Oh, you would
love. I've never seen those either.
Yeah, those are I wouldn't say they're super duper iconic. Never seen The Godfather, but I don't like violent things, so I won't see that.
Yeah, there's an incident with a horse in that one.
What I'd rather do is go on a trip.
Yes.
And then I can make a little movie about that. So if you want to go on a trip, you can enter a contest to experience the magic of Hong Kong. You got a chance to win a trip for 2, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. So in case you missed it, the prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific. That alone is amazing. 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong. I bet she's fancy. And $1,000 spending money plus a 3-day pass, granting you access to more than 20 amazing attractions. Just sounds wonderful. So enter by using that QR code to get right to the site, or if you'd like to use the website, just look at the top. There's a little bar. Click on that, and you can enter the contest. Yeah, love this for all of us.
Good luck.
You can't win, but you can.
You can. You know who knows a thing or two about travel? CAA Atlantic.
There you go.
Yeah, they're going to be joining us after our next break, but we're actually going to be talking about the other thing that they specialize in, which is vehicles. We're going to be talking about getting your car ready for the warmer weather this spring season. So CAA Atlantic will be here with their checklist to help you get ready for those spring road trips. That conversation is coming up after the forecast.
Happy Thursday, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 7:44. We're taking a live look at a wet start to the day over in Bedeque. 0 starting off your day. You do have flurries and a risk of freezing rain early on before transitioning over to rain. As of right now, it is -1 in Fredericton, 1 degree in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 8 degrees in Halifax, -16 in Cartwright, and -10 degrees starting off your day in Corner Brook. A winter storm warning has now ended, but we do have a freezing rain warning in effect for much of New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. Special weather statement for the east coast of Newfoundland. Also seeing a winter storm warning and rainfall warning for much of Newfoundland. And then for Labrador, we do have that winter storm warning and winter storm watch. An orange level rainfall warning is also in effect for parts of Newfoundland. Going to see those heavier rainfall totals there. And we do have a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning with heavier totals as well for Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. Still seeing a messy mix for parts of Atlantic Canada. For parts of the Maritime region, still seeing an icy mixture early in the morning. We'll transition over to rain for the most part for the Maritimes. And then for Labrador, starting to see that snow move in for the province. And for Newfoundland, still dealing with an icy mixture as well. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected. We start to see a bit of this mixed precipitation clear out of New Brunswick into the evening hours and then into early Friday morning. Still going to be dealing with snow and or rain, but we will be seeing a bit more clearing for central and northern New Brunswick. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, it's going to be at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, seeing around 5 to 15 centimeters for Labrador and 10 to 15 for Newfoundland. And then for our rainfall outlook, the heaviest being 10 to 20 millimeters of precipitation for New Brunswick, 10 to 20 across Prince Edward Island, heaviest for Nova Scotia at around 30 to 40 millimeters for Truro. And then for Newfoundland, looking at around 2 to 50 millimeters, the heaviest being for Port aux Basques. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs between 2 to 9 degrees today. An icy mixture starts off the day, snow and or rain into the evening, wind gusts of 50. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees. Freezing rain starts off the day, transitions over to rain for the remainder. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 9 to 13 degrees. Showers and or flurries expected throughout your day. For the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between 9 to 13 degrees. Showers start off the day with a risk of thunderstorms, transitions over to flurries and or showers into the evening. For Labrador City, -16 degrees today with snow across the province. 6 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. Icy mixture, transitions over to freezing rain. So for Friday's forecast, sunshine returns for all 3 maritime provinces. Still holding on to some snowfall, though, for Cape Breton Island, Labrador, and then for Newfoundland, that mixed precipitation persists into the afternoon. And then for Saturday's forecast, we have another low pressure system moving back in. Temperatures cooling back down, looking at snow and or rain, Crystal.
Yeah, it's 7:46, and with spring right around the corner, it's time to think about storing winter tires and preparing your vehicle for the warmer weather. To help us get our cars ready for the road trip season ahead, we welcome back Julia Kent, the Director of Advocacy and Community Relations with our partners at CAA Atlantic. Julia, thanks for coming back.
No problem. 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. What a wonderful sign of spring that you're in here talking about the tire changeover and getting our cars ready.
Well, you wouldn't know it if you looked outside.
No.
That we're expecting warmer, nicer weather, but it is that time of year, and it is the time to start thinking about preparing your car and yourself for the spring and warmer months.
Where do you want to begin?
I think the most important thing to remember is your tires. So we need to ask ourselves, is the temperature on average above 7 degrees, and that is the right time to get your tires changed. Okay. A lot of people pre-schedule this for later in April when they expect those temperatures to rise, but that is key. And also tire pressure while you're at it. Those things are very important.
Tire pressure is a tricky one because with the temperature fluctuations, I find that the tires do tend to lose pressure.
That's exactly it. So the winter takes a toll on your vehicle in general. So on top of checking tire pressure, we actually recommend checking your vehicle all around. Suspension, brakes, washer fluid, windshield wipers, all the things, especially your battery. The cold temperatures also take a toll on your battery.
Yeah, and that's another good reason to have your roadside assistance all up to date, which I recently did do, actually.
Well, they can check your battery right in your driveway.
Exactly.
And Auto, our new mobile tire service, will actually come to you at your home or your workplace, wherever you want, and sell you new tires or just do a seasonal tire change and check the tire pressure. All of the appointments come with an 11-point inspection of your vehicle, so they're really useful to have.
That's neat. So they have a little vehicle they actually drive right to your home and do the job right in your yard or on the street?
Yes, that's it. So it's kind of like the Uber Eats model.
Yeah.
Currently, it's only available in HRM, but they will sell you new tires. And what I really love personally is they give you, when they sell you new tires, they give you a good, better, best option for you. So depending on your budget, the type of vehicle you drive, and your lifestyle, you can pick what's best for you.
Well, that's handy because sometimes you don't even know you need new tires. They're like,
that's
she's bald, girl. She's bald.
Exactly. That would be me. And also, we offer tire storage for people that don't have room or can't lift their tires, which is really handy.
Interesting. Quick question. Do you have to be a CAA member to use the auto
You do
service?
not. It is open to the public, and your tires do not have to be on rim or off rim. But I should add, if you are a CAA member, you are eligible for exclusive discounts. And you can find that all on automobile.ca, our website. There are details about that.
Perfect. Okay, we talked about tires, which are super important for safety. What else do people need to know this time of year to get the car ready?
This is the time of year when we see a lot of potholes. The winter has taken a toll. The plows have taken a toll on the roads. We've had a lot of snow in Atlantic Canada this season. So we need to be wary of potholes and the damage it can cause to your vehicle. So be careful about that. But also construction zones ramp up around this time of year. And so we have to be really careful in construction zones and slow down and be aware of our surroundings. So that is different for the spring and summer than in the winter.
You're right. Bring your patients along, because you're right. We always think about keeping ourselves safe in the car, but we can all do our part to keep others safe too.
Exactly. And our slow down, move over messaging, where we say, roadside workers, if you see anyone working on the side of the road, particularly with their lights flashing, slow down to half the posted speed limit, move over to the left-hand lane if safe to do so, and give them space to do their job safely.
All right. Well, Julia, thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Crystal.
That was Julia Kent, one of our partners at CAA Atlantic. Now we're going to turn our attention over to Amanda at the Health and Medical Desk.
Thank you so much, ladies. Health and medical news now. New research suggests that heavy drinking can also increase the risk of brain bleeds and nerve damage. It's one of the topics in your health. There's already plenty of evidence that heavy drinking can lead to liver damage and increase cancer risk, but new research suggests it may also raise the risk of brain bleeds and nerve damage. A study published in the journal Neurology found a strong link between drinking 3 or more drinks per day and a higher risk of stroke and brain damage. In a trial of more than 1,600 adults who'd had a stroke, the heavier drinkers tended to be younger than lighter drinkers. Researchers say heavy drinking can lead to high blood pressure, blood vessel damage, and poor blood clotting, all of which raise bleeding risk in the brain. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved a generic medication for a rare brain disorder, but the agency is walking back statements by U.S. President Donald Trump about autism. Trump and the FDA commissioner announced in September the drug was under review to benefit patients with autism, some of whom have a form of the same rare disorder. FDA officials have now pointed out one study supporting the drug's use for autism was retracted earlier this year. Finally, a high-fat, low-carb eating plan known as the keto diet has shown some success in helping people lose weight and control blood sugar. Now, new research from the University of Toronto suggests it might also help treat depression. When people who monitored their ketones, the substances the body makes when it burns fat for fuel, they reported a greater mood boost compared with those who didn't. This means foods featured in the diet, like full-fat cheese, olives, avocados, and seafood, may do double duty by feeding your body while supporting emotional well-being. However, when it came to anxiety, the diet didn't seem to make a major difference.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. And in case you missed it, a doctor in Dartmouth has come up with an effective way to deal with a fairly common problem, rings that will not come off.
Yeah, his device is currently used in hospitals across North America, and it's set to make a Hollywood debut. CTV's Vanessa Wright has the story.
It may not seem like a common problem, but Dr. Kevin Spencer says you'd be surprised.
There's millions of healthcare encounters that have been required as a result of stuck rings. So it actually is a very common problem.
In fact, of the 55% of the adult population that wears rings, 70% have experienced some level of ring entrapment or stuck ring. A quarter of them end up at the hospital, but it's not necessarily a quick fix.
So what's happened is that modern durable ring metals like titanium, tungsten, and stainless steel evolved, and the tools to handle stuck rings didn't.
Leaving medical providers with these kinds of tools to fix the problem.
It's dangerous. It causes heat, which can burn the finger. The sparks are dangerous, and one slip, you can cut the finger.
So in 2018, Spencer co-founded Ring Rescue in hopes of offering a less invasive way of removing stuck rings.
So the finger remains very, very safe through this process.
The device is now in every emergency room in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. It's also being used at more than 2,000 hospitals across North America, including at the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic.
Where's my son?
But perhaps its most anticipated appearance will come later this week when it will be featured in the latest episode of The Pit, the popular medical drama seen on Crave.
To be able to have our product on there is really, really cool. It's something I'm very proud of. I think our whole team is really excited about. And I think it's a great local win as well, to take a local intervention and get into what's arguably the top show on television right now.
An even greater sense of pride knowing the answer to a unique problem was answered right here at home. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Dartmouth.
All right, taking another look at the 3-day forecast. A high of 10 degrees today for New Brunswick. An icy mixture starts off the day. We'll transition over to showers and or flurries. On Friday, cooling down to 1 degree. We do have sunshine, but also seeing the return of isolated flurries for parts of the province. On Saturday, 2 degrees with snow and or rain. For Nova Scotia today, quite a warm day ahead. 11 degrees for your daytime high. Showers and or flurries, transitions over to rain into the evening. Friday, cooling down to 3 degrees, scattered flurries. On Friday, looking at a high of 4. We do have snow and or rain moving back in. Prince Edward Island, 10 degrees today with rain and or freezing rain. On Friday, -1 with scattered flurries. 1 degree on Saturday with snow and or rain across the island. Time now, 7:56. We'll be right back after this.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Thursday, March 12th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, an investigation is underway after a driver died following a collision between a school bus and car in North Sydney yesterday. The top news headlines just ahead.
And today is World Kidney Day. We'll chat with naturopathic Dr. Joyce Johnson about how to keep those vital organs healthy. Those stories and so much more coming up on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, or wherever you are watching from. We're so happy to have you. A reminder for the Move Morning Chat, still time to send us a text in. Weigh in, give us your opinion. We're talking about iconic movies that you have never seen. Everyone else seems to have seen these films. You haven't, whether you want to or not. So we want to share your answers a little bit later in the show. I once had heard back in the day, Suzette Bellevaux had told me she had never seen Jurassic Park.
She'd never seen The Wizard of Oz.
What? She'd never seen the... Okay, well, I corrected one of those problems because I had her over to watch Jurassic Park and she enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's a good one.
I know. Well, and we're going to learn about some movies too, I bet. Anyway, that is coming up later. Right now, we do need to tell you about the weather. Julia is saying very rainy out there in the Halifax area.
Exactly, yeah. Some areas seeing rain, others seeing an icy mixture. So something to keep in mind, roads are slick.
Okay.
So, yeah, drive slowly. We are going to see either, like I said, that icy mixture or that rain persist throughout the day today for much of the region. Here's a live look at Windsor, a foggy, wet start to the day. Temperatures warming up, though, especially across Nova Scotia early this morning. Others will see temperatures rise into the afternoon. As of right now, -1 in Fredericton, 1 degree in Charlottetown and Sydney, 8 degrees in Halifax, -21 right now in parts of Labrador, and -9 in Gander. Over to our wind chill for today. It is factoring in for Newfoundland and Labrador, making it feel a lot colder early this morning. And then we do have that risk of frostbite still remaining for parts of Labrador. Freezing rain warning in effect for much of New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island until a little bit later this morning. We also have a special weather statement in effect for the east coast of Newfoundland. A winter storm warning, a rainfall warning, now seeing a snowfall warning in effect, as well as a winter storm watch, winter storm warning in effect for parts of Labrador. An orange level rainfall warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland, and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at that messy system tracking across Atlantic Canada. Keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. I lost some extra time out on roads. We aren't going to see this start to clear out for much of the region until tomorrow morning. Over to the current wind we're seeing across the Maritime region, 41 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang. 37 into Halifax, 35 kilometers per hour in Yarmouth. Wind gusts of 59 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 56 in Yarmouth, and 52 in Halifax. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. And most schools in New Brunswick are closed today due to road and weather conditions. All schools are closed for Anglophone West, North and East, as well as most schools in Francophone South, all schools for Francophone Northeast and Francophone Northwest. In PEI, classes for the Public Schools Branch and the French Language School Board, they're on a 1-hour delay. And in Cape Breton, schools north of Smoky will be delayed opening by 1 hour. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was found. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police are also warning people to stay off the ice. A man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus in Cape Breton Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but later died. 29 students en route to Memorial High in Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the local school board. Some were treated for injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. In New Brunswick, a main route in the town of Sussex has been abruptly blocked off. The Maple Avenue Bridge is closed. Also known as the Trout Creek No. 1 Bridge, the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure says it closed the bridge to traffic due to its declining condition. The province says the closure will require another assessment of the bridge's timeline, but didn't say when it might reopen. The bridge was in the process of being evaluated for future rehabilitation or replacement options. And a detour plan with signage is still being worked on. A Fredericton company has been named as the party responsible for that chemical spill that shut down a portion of the Vanier Highway last week.
Once a responsible party has been identified, the onus is on them, both in the cleanup and the remediation and the impacts of the incident itself.
That includes the cleanup costs, which officials say is too early to put a number on. XL Plating and Machining has been named by the New Brunswick government as being at fault. CTV News reached out to the company, which declined to comment. 1 week ago, the province was first notified of the spill that saw around 900 liters of chemical, including chromium, dumped onto parts of the Trans-Canada Highway. The reason for the spill hasn't been released at this point, and no timeline has been given on how long the investigation is expected to take. There's been a major leadership change at Health PEI. The province says Lori Kloschinski is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization, effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who has worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. Now, there have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority, and she felt there was no choice but to go. Officials in a Newfoundland town, long tormented by the stench of an abandoned fish sauce factory, says the site could be cleaned up this summer. The town council in St. Mary's says in a social media post that the cleanup job is ready to go to tender. The post says the waste will be disposed of at a facility in the community of Sunnyside. It says Municipal Affairs Minister Chris Tibbs has promised that the decades-old sauce will be removed and cleaned up by the summer. Finally, here's an incredible display that lit up the sky over Hawaii. The Kilauea volcano erupted for the 43rd time since 2024. Now, at one point, a fountain of lava shot nearly 400 meters into the sky. Debris the size of footballs also rained down on the area during the 9-hour-long flare-up. What a sight to see from a distance.
Yeah.
If you missed the conversation, Latavia was saying earlier she's been to Hawaii. Anyone I've heard who's gone to Hawaii has never said a bad thing about it.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it was a great trip.
Add it to the list.
You're right, Amanda. Yeah, sounds beautiful. Well, in our region, you can still enjoy, it's not in Canada anyway, you can still enjoy a sturdy snow fort that's still standing. You have to go to Manitoba, and it's still standing even though the spring's thaw has begun. So there it is. She's sturdy. It's kind of fancy. It was built over a 2-week period in late December. It's still holding on in Clear Lake, Manitoba. It's a second year for the building of this snow structure, but this year they elevated things with ice walls pulled from the lake, and you can even see on the outside some sculptures. There's a really cool bison sculpture we'll see in a second. And I love the glass walls.
Yeah.
There's the bison.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be featured at an upcoming Fire and Frost Festival. It's neat. And it's sturdy, so that's why it's still there.
Very cool.
I think the bunny that we had carved out of an ice sculpture in the back deck here for the Dartmouth Ice Festival back in January, I think it's finally gone.
I think it's finally, this week she went.
Melted away.
Okay, it finally did.
Months.
But it was this week.
Here?
Yeah. Oh, you might have been off.
I was off, but I know that it happened. But did it stay here?
It did. It was up here until like literally a couple days ago before it got warm this week.
Really? I never saw it once.
She takes one particular exit.
Yeah.
Leaving. You missed the bunny.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what? We have another contest. You can win tickets to see the Halifax Thunderbirds plus. Check out this contest. We gave you the chance to team up with the Birds. You can also win 4 tickets to the home game April 4th against the Rochester Nighthawks, but the chance to win a pregame warm-up from the penalty box. You're normally not allowed in there. And you can also get a night at the Halifax Marriott Harbourfront, plus a $100 gift card to the Harbourstone Poorhouse. Chef Ted Pace will take good care of you. So to enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca. We'll announce the winner on Friday the 20th of this month.
When being in the penalty box is a good thing.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Still ahead on this show, naturopath Joyce Johnson will talk about keeping your kidneys healthy. Also, the latest look at the full forecast. It is a messy one. We don't really have any clear conditions for a while, but here is a classic shot. Peggy's Cove with some fog. How East Coast is that? The forecast is up next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:12. We're taking a live look at Port de Grave. As of right now, -4 degrees starting off your day. We do have freezing rain mixed with a bit of ice pellets starting off your day. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. As of right now, temperatures are a bit cooler for parts of Atlantic Canada. Temperatures will rise a little bit later on. Right now, it is -1 in Fredericton, 2 degrees in Charlottetown and Sydney, 8 in Halifax, with -16 in Cartwright, -9 degrees in Gander. We do still have a freezing rain warning in effect for much of New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. It will end a little bit later this morning, as well as a special weather statement remains for parts of the east coast of Newfoundland. Also seeing a winter storm warning, a snowfall warning, and a rainfall warning in effect for today. And for Labrador, a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning. We do also have an orange level rainfall warning, seeing the heaviest of that rainfall totals for parts of Newfoundland, a snowfall warning, and a winter storm warning as well. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. You can still see an icy mixture for parts of Atlantic Canada. Snow mixed with ice pellets, freezing rain, and rain tracks across parts of the region today. So keep that in mind when you are heading out on your commute. Some extra time out on roads. We are seeing some slick conditions out there. Into the afternoon, much of the same persists, but we start to see a bit more rain take over the Maritime region. And then into this evening, start to see a bit of clearing for parts of northern New Brunswick. Other than that, though, still seeing that wintry mix across much of the region, taking us into early Friday morning. So if you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, 5 to 15 centimeters for parts of Labrador, 10 to 15 across Newfoundland. And then for our rainfall outlook, looking at its heaviest, around 10 to 20 millimeters for New Brunswick, 10 to 20 for Prince Edward Island, heaviest for Nova Scotia being at around 30 to 40 millimeters for Truro. And then for Newfoundland, the heaviest being Port aux Basques at around 40 to 50 millimeters. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs will range from 2 to 10 degrees. Icy mixture starts off the day, transitions over to snow and or rain. Wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour expected. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees. Freezing rain starts off the day, transitions over to rain for the remainder. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from 9 to 13 degrees. Showers and or flurries expected today. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers, a risk of thunderstorms. Wow, okay, got it together. And then transitions over to flurries and or showers into the evening. And for Labrador City, looking at a high of minus 15 degrees. Snow expected today. 5 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, an icy mixture as well. Transitions over to freezing rain for the remainder of the day. So for Friday, start to see the system clear out of the Maritime region. All 3 Maritime provinces seeing sunshine return, cooler temperatures, still holding on to a bit of snowfall into the afternoon for Cape Breton Island, Labrador seeing snow, Newfoundland still seeing that icy mixture remain. And then into Friday night, pretty much the same, but then into Friday late night, we do have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing snow and or rain back around into our forecast for Saturday. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. International news now. The war in the Middle East is continuing to escalate, with hundreds killed in Iran and many more throughout the region. The conflict is also adding fears of another growing crisis, with oil and shipping in the crucial Strait of Hormuz taking a hit. CTV's Joy Malbin has the latest.
New video from Central Command shows the U.S. blowing up Iranian vessels suspected of laying mines near the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran has effectively closed the shipping lane, attacking more than a dozen oil tankers trying to pass, choking off the world's lifeline for oil, and sending energy prices soaring, triggering the largest release of emergency reserves thanks to oil-rich nations.
Our countries will be making 400 million barrels of oil available. I repeat, 400 million barrels of oil.
Canada helping to offset global shortages too.
Canada will do its part to contribute to the world's supply. That will bring prices down for Canadians. That will keep prices affordable for Canadians.
With the U.S. and Israel targeting Iranian military sites, and Iran retaliating with a new wave of missile and drone attacks, President Donald Trump telling reporters,
right now, they've lost their Navy, they've lost their Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all, they have no radar, their leaders are gone, and we could do a lot worse.
The president promising to hit harder, but also saying the war is pretty much over.
Which is it? Is the war ending soon, or are we on the brink of the worst fighting yet?
Mixed messaging from Washington isn't going over well. Key Trump supporters like Joe Rogan publicly criticizing the war as a betrayal.
He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
With the new supreme leader, Iran insists it alone will decide the war's end, as the FBI now warns sympathizers or proxies could try to launch attacks on U.S. soil. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
And the war in Iran has made air travel costlier for Canadians. Air Canada says it has adjusted fares to reflect the surging global jet fuel prices since U.S. and Israel attacked Iran. Air Transat announced it has applied a $25 surcharge on flights departing from Canada to Europe. And several international airlines have also hiked fares. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we turn, we're talking about kidney health and what you can do to improve that. That conversation is coming up on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. It's 8:22. Now, March is Kidney Health Month, and today, March 12th, is World Kidney Day. Did you know that 1 in 10 Canadians live with kidney disease? And the two organs, each about the size of a fist, filter about half a cup of blood every minute, removing waste products and extra fluid and helping maintain a healthy balance of water, salt, and minerals. So joining us now with tips on keeping our kidneys healthy is naturopathic doctor Joyce Johnson. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, especially to talk about this really important topic.
Well, I, in preparing for this interview, did not realize just how much work our kidneys do constantly.
Yep. Yep, they work for us 24 hours a day, so we really need to make sure that we are supporting them. They're crucial in helping to, control blood pressure, helping with strong bones, helping make red blood cells. They help also regulate that body's acid-base balance. So really, really important things that they do here.
Okay, let's talk about what we can do to treat our kidneys with kindness.
Yes. So the first is we're going to follow a Mediterranean type diet. So what we want to do is at the end of the day, the key thing is eat more plants and fewer processed foods. So lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of whole grains. We want to have like plant-based proteins. We're going to have some like beans and lentils, have some good healthy fats. We have avocado. We have some good nuts, using olive oil, incorporating fish, incorporating salmon. These are all really key at helping to support your kidney health. So more plants, less processed food.
Okay, love it. Okay, and what's our next tip?
Okay, the next tip are just a few nutrients. There's some nutrients that are key for helping to prevent chronic kidney disease. So the first one is vitamin K2. So a deficiency in vitamin K2 can lead potentially to calcification of the arteries, so leading to atherosclerosis, hardening the arteries, and that increases cardiovascular morbidity, right? So we're trying to incorporate either vitamin K2 in a supplement. We can have it in a variety of different foods, grass-fed butter, for example. Edam cheese. You can also get it in sauerkraut, and leading with sauerkraut too. So sauerkraut is also a great source of a probiotic. So probiotics, we know, are those good healthy bacteria. They're important for our gut, as well as something like Greek yogurt. Chronic kidney disease can cause an imbalance, or dysbiosis, what we call it, where there's higher of the bad bacteria and less of the good bacteria. So really important that we're giving ourselves that good bacteria. And the last nutrient, which a lot of people might not know about, is called alpha lipoic acid. It's a really strong antioxidant. You can get it in a supplement form. You can also find it in a variety of foods here. I have broccoli. I have some sweet potatoes and carrots and spinach, and I have some red beets. So it helps protect your cells from oxidative damage, and that includes the cells in your kidneys. And we know it's extremely important that we're keeping all of that healthy.
Well, I know that you were especially passionate about this because of some kidney-related issues in your family. Maybe you can share with our viewers just like what if your kidneys aren't in good health, things that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So if your kidneys are not functioning properly, so your kidneys are super important at being able to filter toxins from your body, to be able to process your blood, to be able to keep everything functioning properly, right? Everything from in your urinary tract, as well as helping with your blood pressure. There's some different signs that you want to look out for too. Like if your blood pressure's high, maybe you're noticing some blood or protein in your urine. Maybe you're getting urine samples and that's coming back. Maybe frequent, difficult, or even painful urination. That can be a sign that there's something that might be happening with your kidneys. Low back pain as well. And even some things like swelling of the hands and feet, puffiness around the eyes. So things to talk to your doctor about. And when I get into the talking with your doctor, one thing I just like to point out is there are some medications that can be extra hard on the kidneys. So if like over-the-counter medications, your NSAIDs, things like ibuprofen, naproxen, even aspirin. So if you might have a propensity to kidney issues, please speak with your pharmacist or your doctor to make sure that something that you might just be walking in and buying off the shelf is not causing further damage.
Lots to think about. I know that kidney conditions can be related to diabetes and other chronic illnesses too. So Joyce, it's really important to shine a spotlight on these really hardworking organs today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
It is wonderful to have a chance to do this. So it is World Kidney Day, and it's a day of rain in our region. Latavia Beezer has more. Taking a look at our 3-day forecast now for New Brunswick, a high of 10 degrees. An icy mixture starts off the day, transitions over to showers and or flurries, cooling down to 1 degree on Friday. Sunshine returns, but we do have isolated flurries for parts of the province. On Saturday, 2 degrees, snow and or rain. For Nova Scotia, 11 degrees today, showers and or flurries, evening rain expected. On Friday, 3 degrees with scattered flurries across the province. And then on Saturday, 4 degrees with snow and or rain. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 10 degrees today, rain and or freezing rain. On Friday, -1, scattered flurries. On Saturday, 1 degree, snow and or rain.
Still ahead this half hour, it's a sure sign of spring. The Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show kicks off tomorrow, but we are getting a preview today. That's in the last 30 minutes of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. The time now is 8:30. I can't believe it's 8:30 already.
Yeah.
Flying by.
She's flying by. Oh, gosh, another sign of spring, the RV show, an outdoor show. Like, we want to get outdoors soon anyway.
How cool is it, too, to explore, like, what's new in those campers? Those camper vans are so cool.
Always fun. Awesome. Always fun, yeah. And, gosh, I would not want to be the people having to set up for that show. So much stuff to bring in and set up.
It's a lot of work.
Big show. Beautiful show, too. We'll have the preview coming up. Weather-wise, I wouldn't say it's quite RV season yet.
It's gross outside.
Oh, boy.
Some of it's spring-like weather. We're having showers, the risk of thunderstorms for parts of the region, but others still feeling kind of like winter with that icy mixture we're seeing.
Yeah.
So just make sure to take your time out on roads everywhere, really, because we are going to see the weather impacting traffic. Here's a live look at Walton. Still seeing a very foggy start to the day and a wet one at that. So we are going to see temperatures slowly rise as of right now for parts of Atlantic Canada, already seeing a bit of a warmer start to the day. 8 degrees in Halifax, 2 degrees in Sydney and Charlottetown, -1 in Fredericton, -19 in Labrador City, and -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill factor in for parts of Atlantic Canada, and we do have a risk of frostbite over in parts of Labrador. A freezing rain warning remains for much of New Brunswick. Parts of Prince Edward Island will end a little bit later this morning. For parts of the east coast of Newfoundland, we do have a special weather statement, as well as a winter storm warning, a snowfall warning, and a rainfall warning. And then for Labrador, looking at a winter storm watch with a winter storm warning. An orange level rainfall warning is in effect for parts of Newfoundland, just meaning heavier rainfall totals expected. Same thing for parts of Labrador, an orange level snowfall warning and a winter storm warning as well. Here's a look at that messy system tracking across the region, bringing in icy mixture for parts of Atlantic Canada. We are going to see this messy weather stick around for much of the day today. And then in terms of the wind for the Maritime region, 39 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang. We're looking at 33 in Halifax and Yarmouth. Wind gusts getting up to 59 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 56 in Yarmouth, 54 in Halifax. We'll take one last look at your forecast just ahead. One last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. And we begin with the impacts of the weather. Most schools in New Brunswick are closed today due to road conditions. All schools are closed for Anglophone West, North and East, as well as most schools in Francophone South, all schools for Francophone Northeast and Francophone Northwest. In Prince Edward Island, classes for the Public Schools Branch and the French Language School Board, they're on a 1-hour delay. And in Cape Breton, schools north of Smoky will be delayed opening by 1 hour. A search is ongoing in the Belle Isle area of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. The coordinated effort was launched Tuesday night when 2 men in their 70s did not return from ice fishing near Little Brook Lane. Yesterday afternoon, the body of one of the men was discovered. At last report, the search for the other was ongoing. Police are also warning people to stay off the ice. A man has died after the vehicle he was driving collided with a school bus in Cape Breton Wednesday morning. It happened just before 9 at the intersection of Archibald Avenue and Pleasant Street in North Sydney. Cape Breton Regional Police say the 53-year-old driver of the car was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, but died later. A neighbor tells CTV News there have been too many accidents at that intersection. She believes it should be a 4-way stop.
A man lost his life. That's horrible. There were kids on a school bus. That so much more could have happened. An accident, if there's any way we can avoid any accident from happening, if it's as simple as 2 extra stop signs, I think that's a wonderful step in the right direction.
29 students en route to Memorial High in Sydney Mines were on the bus, according to the school board. Some were treated for injuries. The cause of the crash itself is still under investigation. There's been a major leadership change at Health PEI. The province says Lore Kloschinski is taking over as interim chief executive officer of the organization, effective immediately. Officials say she's a perfect candidate, an experienced senior healthcare executive and pharmacist who has worked closely with partners and providers across the island. She replaces Melanie Fraser in the role. The health minister credits her with helping to recruit more healthcare professionals to PEI. There have been some problems, though. Just a week ago, we reported 3 doctors were leaving the island. One publicly told us physicians felt disrespected by the health authority and felt there was no choice but to go. RCMP in Nova Scotia are looking for a suspect after a smash and grab incident in Cole Harbour. Just before 9:30 Monday night, police say a man entered a store in the 900 block of Cole Harbour Road, smashed a display case with a screwdriver, and grabbed some trading cards before leaving. He was seen getting into the back seat of an older model Honda Civic, which took off toward Dartmouth. The suspect is described by police as being 18 to 20 years old with a slim build. Anyone with information is asked to contact RCMP. Despite objections, the city can't afford it. Halifax Council has voted to continue a plan to rebuild the historic forum. Although a beloved building, the cost of rebuilding the 99-year-old structure has now ballooned to $126 million. And the mayor says that's too much.
What does need to be on the forum site is housing, including affordable housing. We do need to have recreation and community spaces like are there now.
Council has put delays and delays and delays and delays on the project. That's why it's $126 million. It's $126 million because of inflation.
The motion to defer failed because the vote was an 8-8 tie. Mayor Andy Fillmore says he will try again. Finally, it's the top 10 list many people have been waiting for. The Canadian Kennel Club is out with its top 10 most popular dog breeds for 2025. Topping the list is the Labrador Retriever, an honor the dog has carried for over 30 years. Next up, too, on the list, we have the Golden Retriever. And also the German Shepherd as well. Others on the list include the Australian Shepherd, Havanese, and King Charles Spaniel. So if you have one of those dogs, congratulations to you. Yeah, I mean, I am a fan of the Black Labs, big time, big time.
They're not as good, all as good as Dewey.
No, not as good as Dewey. Oh, yeah.
Dewey's a good one, a beautiful dog.
Yeah, yeah, he's a sweetie.
I like a good mix. A little mutt.
A little mutt.
Well, love a mutt.
You know, technically he's half Golden Retriever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could never tell.
You could never tell. Never.
He's very,
never
very
tell.
much, the shiny black dog.
Yeah.
Knight in shining armor.
We'll be walking our dogs in the rain a little later, all of us.
If you're a dog lover, great. If you're a racing fan, this is for you. If you especially love IndyCar racing, there's going to be a big race in North America. It actually happens in Washington, D.C. It now has an official route. The event celebrates America's 250th anniversary, so organizers unveiled the route, the race's logo, and this America 250 Indy car. It's called the Freedom Car. So the circuit will have 7-turn layout. This means something if you're into racing, with the drivers speeding around the National Mall, the Washington Monument, and other important sites. The race's chairman says the Grand Prix will make American and auto racing history when it happens this August. You'll hear the roar of engines. I know when I was in Montreal, they had the F1 Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge one.
All through the whole city. It's very exciting.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, we got friends of ours who live in Moncton, and they love their cars, and they head down there every year to watch it.
Yeah, we don't talk about Indy a lot, so there we go. We talked about it.
There you have it. We'll take a look at the community calendar now and talk about some events taking place in our region. If you're in St. John tonight, why not head to the Fundy Sea Shanty Night at O'Leary's? It starts at 7 p.m. You can come out and pay homage to sailors and songs that date back to the golden age of sail. Admission is free. Check it out. And the 3rd annual Female First Responder Celebration will be taking place tonight in Stratford. Everyone is welcome to come out to the Stratford Emergency Services Center for an evening dedicated to honoring first responders and colleagues, allies, and family who support, motivate, and encourage them. There will be door prizes, snacks, and beverages. The event starts at 7. And Love Your Crown is a March break camp that's being held in Dartmouth. This is an empowering camp for children and youth focused on textured and curly hair care. They will learn to understand, care, and also celebrate their natural hair through hands-on activities. The camp starts from March 16th and runs till March 20th. There's a number you can contact if you want to get involved. And if you do have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, and a reminder, March break around the corner for students in Nova Scotia.
There we go.
Okay, still ahead on the Thursday, Latavia has more details on all the messy weather systems that we are dealing with. Plus, if you're an outdoor enthusiast, we've got the show for you. A lot of covers here that will protect you from the elements. The Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show is happening in Halifax this weekend, but we get a preview next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:44. We're taking a live look at Liverpool. 7 degrees starting off your day, a bit foggy though. We are expecting showers with a risk of thunderstorms early on. So we are seeing mixed precipitation right across the region today, something to keep in mind when you are heading out early this morning. -1 starting off your day in Fredericton, 3 degrees right now in Charlottetown with 2 degrees in Sydney, 8 in Halifax, -19 in Labrador City, and -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Freezing rain warning remains for much of New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. Something to keep in mind as well. We could see some slick road conditions over there. A special weather statement in effect for parts of the east coast of Newfoundland until this evening. We do also have a winter storm warning, a snowfall warning, and rainfall warning in effect, as well as for Labrador, a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning. We do have an orange level rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland, meaning heavier rainfall totals expected, and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. Still seeing a bit of a messy mix for parts of New Brunswick. Also seeing that icy mixture across parts of Newfoundland. Labrador seeing snow, and for much of the maritime region seeing periods of rain starting off the day. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected, still holding on to that icy mixture for much of Newfoundland. And then into the evening hours, we start to see a bit of clearing of that mixed precipitation for parts of New Brunswick. Still slowly clearing out into early Friday morning, but still remaining. So something to keep in mind as you head out on Friday. We'll start to see that clear out a bit more into Friday afternoon. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across parts of Nova Scotia and also into Charlottetown. For Labrador, around 5 to 15 centimeters of accumulation, 10 to 15 for Newfoundland. And then for our rainfall outlook, we will be seeing at its heaviest around 10 to 20 millimeters for parts of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. Heaviest being for Nova Scotia at around 30 to 40 millimeters into Truro. For Newfoundland, heaviest being Port aux Basques at around 40 to 50 millimeters. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Looking at daytime highs between 2 to 10 degrees. Icy mixture starts off the day. That will transition over to snow and or rain into the evening. Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 10 degrees. Freezing rain starts off the day. That will shift over to rain into the afternoon. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs between 9 to 13 degrees. Showers and or flurries throughout the day today. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers and a risk of thunderstorms starts off the day, transitions over to flurries and or showers with highs between 9 to 13 degrees, wind gusts of 50. For Labrador City, a high of minus 15 degrees today, looking at snow throughout your day. 5 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at that icy mixture early in the morning, transitioning over to freezing rain. Friday's forecast, temperatures cool back down, although sunshine returns for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Into the afternoon, though, still holding on to some snowfall for Cape Breton Island. Labrador seeing snow. Newfoundland still holding on to a bit of an icy mixture. And then into Saturday's forecast, we do have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing snow and or rain right back around for all 3 maritime provinces. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Now we're going to head over to a great RV show.
Hi, I'm Courtney McKinley. I'm the Trade Show Sales and Event Manager for Darwin Event Group, and I'm here at Halifax Exhibition Center, and we are super excited for this weekend. It's the Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show. We'll be here Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. When you get here, you'll see all kinds of live entertainment, and we have a duck and goose calling competition. We also have the Wild Game Kitchen with Chef Mike doing all kinds of wild game cooking. We also have brand new vendors and lots of exciting new things happening at our show. The show will have boats, power sports, RVs, side-by-sides. You call it outdoors, we've got it all under one roof at the Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show. We'll also have the International Fly Fishing Film Festival airing every day at 1 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The event is produced by Darwin Event Group and proudly presented by cooperators. I'm here to introduce one of our fan favorites, Ian Stewart, who's going to be performing at the Entertainment Arena at the show this weekend.
Hey there, I'm Ian Stewart. I'm going to be here doing a bunch of stunts with fire, chainsaws, going to be juggling chainsaws, and I'm even going to be attempting to break a Guinness World Record live here at the show this weekend. In the past, I broke the record for juggling chainsaws here at this very event, and this year we're going for longest duration juggling 3 flaming torches, which is a record that's never been held by a Canadian. Going to juggle these for longer than anyone's ever done it.
Holy moly!
Impressive.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
I know, exactly.
Oh my gosh, what a show.
Oh my goodness, good luck to him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, it's 8:48. An extensive project is underway at the Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre in Manitoba. A team is working to reconstruct a marine reptile that lived millions of years ago.
CTV's Alex Carpa has more on the new technology being used and bringing back the creature to life, kind of.
This is what we are doing, scanning in 3D all the bones.
At the Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre, Adolfo Quatara and his team have undertaken a process unlike any other.
The scan is being made in 2 parts.
They are reconstructing and assembling a 30-foot Styxosaurus species, a long-necked marine reptile that lived during the Cretaceous period roughly 80 million years ago.
So the plan is to 3D scan all these remains, all the fossils, all the bones, the vertebrae, the flippers, the skull.
This is how the process works. Each fossil fragment is carefully scanned into a computer, digitally reconstructed, and then brought back to life using 5 3D printers. The pieces are assembled into a full skeleton for display.
We were able to reconstruct this way the first skeleton in barely 5 months.
The center houses a collection of around 20,000 fossils. It is the only institution in North America that does the entire process in-house, from discovering and excavating these fossils to recreating them and putting them as a model on display.
All these bones in the neck here, those were all originals.
Jerry Peters is the resident fossil hunter at the center, which houses the largest collection of marine reptile fossils in the country. He says reconstructing ancient creatures once took years, but new technology is dramatically speeding up the process.
But it's really cool to see these old dusty bones that I'm finding in the ground. take shape into, what we're seeing here.
Quatara says his team is already starting to work on another model.
This is going to be a never-ending project because we have thousands of incredible fossil specimens and collections.
Work that he says is beneficial in understanding what life was like millions of years ago. Alex Scarpa, CTV News, Morden, Manitoba.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. We are sharing the answers to our Move Morning Chat about movies you've never seen. And so I just quickly asked our Simon producer, he said, what's one you've never seen? And she has said, like me, Dirty Dancing.
You are missing
I feel like
out.
friendships are just ending left, right, and center at this point.
I know. And I'm saying to these girls, there's some movies that I just love so much that I wouldn't subject anyone to something that I know would upset them.
Yeah,
something too violent or scary. I don't think you actually would. But I'm saying we should have, like, instead of a book club, like a movie night where you bring people into your home and you have a screening of a movie you know they're going to love, but they're never going to watch on their own.
That is a dream.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I'd provide the refreshments.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll bake something.
Yeah. I love that idea.
Because you haven't seen Footloose, but Flashdance. You would love Flashdance.
You've seen Flashdance?
I have seen.
I probably
Flashdance.
would love it because I love dancing.
Yes, what a feeling.
What a feeling.
Yeah, she's a welder by day and dancer by night.
Yeah, that's quite a concept, actually. It's inspiring.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the Bodyguard too. I've never seen The Bodyguard.
Oh my gosh, my brain is hurting.
Whitney Houston and
Kevin Costner.
That's a fun one for the, like, this could be fun for the club.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gina, our assignment editors coming out saying, are we crazy?
No, go back to your chair.
What did our viewers
seen Dirty Dancing?
Our viewers have taken the time to write in. Let's give them a moment.
Candace from Cape Breton says, never seen and have zero intention of seeing Titanic. I actually actively avoid it.
Candace, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah, I want to talk to Candace about why she's actively avoiding it, because I could probably make a case to watch the movie.
Ooh, I wonder, one of the few people, I don't think there's many people I know who've not seen Titanic.
It was a big deal back when it came out. Yeah. Even if you just watch the first little bit that show the Titanic footage, that's incredible.
Yeah. Jessica from PEI says Top Gun, and I don't plan on it. Action movies are not my thing. I just thought
an action movie.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise in his prime.
Watch
it for just that.
I watched it for the first time a few years ago, and I was like, I'm Team Ice. Like, follow the rules, Maverick. Come on.
It's a love story, too.
Yeah. Wayne from Mill Sackville, I've never seen a single Star Wars film.
Wayne.
That's okay, Wayne.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I'm like Wayne, and I'm like, do I live on planet Earth? Am I a human? Because I'm not interested in things everybody else is interested in. So
I
don't know.
It's funny that there's just some like iconic movies, and you think that everyone has seen it, and
for sure. We only have 30 seconds left. I once had the pleasure of my friend Crystal had never seen The Sound of Music. And I'm like, oh, girl, come on over. It changed her life. She loved it.
Good.
It's a beautiful movie.
There's a lot of pressure, too, when you show someone the movie and you're like, please like it, please like it. Thanks so much for joining us. We do have a show here up on Friday. It is March break for students in Nova Scotia, so I'm actually going to take the next week off in a bit. So we'll see you guys in a few days.
We'll try to forge on without you, Amanda.
How can we survive?
Oh, you know I hate to hear it. No, you've got Stephanie and Callum and Suzette.
It'll be a fun week. Yeah, have fun. You have fun.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you later.